I'm the man, yes sir, to kill the bear barehanded so the people won't forget it. Getting money for I would label the drink. I care what a broke nigga think.
Just like the pack of Lewiz.
Look, everything I do so cold. I can do this, both eyes closed. Too short, I stay on my toes. About that guap boy, anything goes. Help the bear if we outside. Help the bear if we outside. Still tipping, baby, nothing changed. I'm still grinding over here, yeah. Still sliding through my own lane. Shorty, nothing funny over here. Dallas rain everywhere around me. Dream to get money. Made it through the storm, living sunny. Dreams came true, now we eating. I got more dreams to chase, gotta reach them. Trying to put a team together like the Hunger Games. Everybody grind together, we all came from hunger.
Out the rhyme. Late Ill Kid at OneYoungsta, hold it down, read that StreetGeek and NERDSoul. What is up, my people? Today, all year, coming with another wonderful episode of beatsVibesLife. I'm so happy to be with these young gentlemen right now. It's been a long week, and now we can just kick it for a little bit, forget about other stuff, and just think about this stuff. So,
oh my glasses, I gotta see you. I must start.
So with that said, right below, right here, we have Anwar Highsign. Say what's up.
Yo, man, it's me.
It's me, y'all.
It's me, y'all. There you go.
It's
Supreme
me,
Clientele
y'all.
version. It's me, y'all. Yeah, man, we're back. We got a lot of interesting things to talk about.
Yeah. And then diagonal square. Well, the whole other side is
41st side.
The 41st side. Now you done really tied it together now.
Arckatron.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's me, Arcatron from the Space Bridge. You can find me at ARCKATRON.com. You know what I'm saying?
And see, now you got that. Now you can be like, calm. You like Arckatron.
Wait, hold on. I got a button in my hand. Oh yeah. Oh, no, that's not it.
Oh.
That's my favorite right there. That's my favorite one.
So
whenever somebody makes a good point, you're gonna have to use that button this episode.
So you guys see the title. We're gonna get into it. I want to start off by just saying, hey, look, there's a lot of dense material that came at us over the weekend. All right, we had a whole lot. So first up, I want to hit it with the shorter story, which is, unfortunately, at Travis Scott's Astroworld event, there was a kind of like rushing and trampling. A lot of people got injured or hurt. There were some casualties, and there's been a lot of talk around it. Like whose fault it is, like when it should have happened, where it should have happened, how it happened, who heard what, could this person understand this, who was calling who was in charge, this, that, and the third. I'm trying to think, how should we kick this off? Because we got, I know everyone's been, kind of slinging this way and that way, and like who's most to blame. I guess I'll start off with asking this. It's similar to a question that I had when I was talking about Star Wars. I was like, well, when it comes to Star Wars, who owns Star Wars? The fans or Disney? Because, like Disney bought it, but the fans, each piece that comes out, there's a piece of ownership that they have of it, that they take over it when they enjoy it. They make statements on it. They make it a part of their lives, things of that nature. And then transferring over to this, how and where do we lay responsibility when there's thousands of people that, this is their energy, their vibe. They were trying to have a good time. Nobody woke up that morning like, hey, someone's gonna die. You know what I'm saying? So, but this energy, the whole crowd, and then of course, the artist. You know, where does that responsibility lie on top of other things? Because I've been thinking about that a lot. Like, you know, where that kind of lies. But I'll toss it off to Arckatron first. Any thoughts on this whole incident, I guess?
It made me think of the incident that just happened like 2 weeks ago with Alec Baldwin. And like, yeah, he shot the gun, but also he was also an executive producer. So he hired the people that came in after there was like, we can't do this. But, you know, when they kind of try to shut down production and new people came in, he has to bear some of the responsibility of like letting the production keep going on without doing those protocols.
Yeah.
So I feel Travis Scott has to bear some of the responsibility for it. You know, not like it's not like he collapsed the stage. Like, I'm running the stage, I'm taking the stage down. Like, it's So some of the responsibility, but it's definitely the fault of people who were setting up the stage or whatever team was involved in that department, stage hands or whatever, stuff like that.
Okay.
Can I pose a question?
Go ahead.
Yeah. Because I agree with what you said, but how much of the onus is on the attendees, if any?
I think there's more than is being discussed.
So for those that don't know, like, there was a lot of like nonsense around it. Like, when the doors opened, a bunch of people who apparently didn't even have tickets, like, bum rushed the door. If you imagine like, if you guys haven't seen the video, I'm sure a lot of you have, but if you imagine like Black Friday and a Black Friday rush, but in a movie, like over the top, people just rushing, and then like multiply that by like hundreds of people, like bum rushing this checkpoint. If you guys have ever been to a festival, you know how it is. Like, you go around they have the little door.
You gotta walk this way.
You got the little gates, and then you get into the festival grounds, and it opens up, and you can just go wherever you want to go. So it's like that, but then like people just bum rushed and knocked everybody over, trampling over each other, and then again, I use Camp Flog Gnaw as an example. I went to Camp Flog Gnaw a couple of years ago, and so, you know, it was on Dodger Stadium grounds that year. So, you know, again, like all open, multiple stages, stage over there, it's a stage over there, it's a stage over that way somewhere. And then whoever you want to see, you just like look at the little schedule thing and you walk over there. But I noticed when like certain bigger acts came on, there was always like a mad dash to the stage. So like we were walking, we walking, you know, vibing the whole day. And then like, okay, ASAP Rocky's coming on. People literally running past you, running up to the stage. Tyler running. Kanye and Cudi headlined that year. Kids See Ghosts running up to the stage. And so so moving back to Travis, is the same sort of thing, but like everyone had been planted there all day. So then like when things got started, people started pushing and pushing and pushing more toward the stage, which is they're hitting a barricade. So this is like everybody just standing there going like, yo, wherever your feet were planted, you literally couldn't move. When people reached up, like yelling for help, it was so tight they couldn't put their hands back down.
Dang.
And the crowd just like kept compressing and compressing and compressing until people started passing out. So you go like, okay, I've been to a good amount of concerts in my time.
Yeah.
I've been to some pretty packed concerts.
Yeah.
Like, guys. And another point, so like, what do you like? How much? Like, what do you guys think? Like, in terms of like, because I do agree. Like,
Well,
I do think Travis is disproportionately getting the blame for it.
Definitely.
Yeah, me too.
And I also feel like, no, go ahead.
I don't know how much to put on the people because, all right, if you would have asked me like, okay, who's to blame? I would say it's Travis Scott, Live Nation, whoever was the head of security there that night, and then the people. I don't know the percentage of where that goes. You know what I'm saying? Like, because
I think people are underestimating like how many moving parts it takes to pull something like that off.
Yeah, and there was some one of the guys that was a security person was interviewed, and he said like the stuff that they got from Live Nation for like, you know, like how to secure the area stuff was like super duper vague. And they were like, it was kind of like just get out there and secure. And that was like the energy about it.
It's way more of like, them than, you know, that like security.
It's like,
so
there's
gotta be a way
50,000
to
people. Like I'll be honest, I've never been to a show that large. 50,000 people, I've never been to a show that large.
It's different.
That's a lot of people.
It's different.
But it shows you the force of people. Like with that many people, you could do a lot.
And that's why it's like I look at that, and then of course people pull up the old stuff, and I'm not gonna front the older things of like Travis Scott being like, hey, jump off that ledge or do this or rush the stage. It looks bad. Well, either out of context or kind of in context, still looks bad. But then I know these kind of kids. These are the mosh pit kids. And like,
right.
You hear them yelling, we want to rage. And I mean, I remember like, I was talking to Lady Lisa. I was like, remember all those kids that mosh pit like in the 90s and stuff? They didn't disappear. Like they just got a new artist to mosh pit under. So, you know what I'm saying? These kids that want to push each other around, hit each other, jump on top of each other and stuff, they still exist. Like they didn't just like dissipate into the air. Like there was no more music like that. Like so
then there's like
it's
the
like
element
he's instigating it, but it's like this is what they want. Like perfect example. That would be like me being like, oh, look at Marvel doing all these special effects at the end of the movie. That's what I wanted. That's what I came here for.
That's like going to a Red and F concert and then being like, yo, I can't believe they were encouraging people to smoke weed. This is insane. Like, what?
So it's like, I don't know, man. I don't know. There is a level of like, this is kind of like what they want, the kind of like wild, punk, rage kind of atmosphere. But
so,
you know,
can I ask? So let me ask you guys. I want to throw two more elements into the pot.
All
right. Because I think that in most other things involving like public outings and getting back to normal, we always talk about the pandemic's effect on normal. But not in this case. I haven't seen it come up. Like, okay, like if you look at, because Astroworld's not new.
No, this is what it's
like. It's been going on.
Fourth year?
I think the fourth year.
Yeah.
So he's done this successfully 3 other times before the pandemic.
You're right.
So when you add that, so I want to throw that in the pot for you guys to comment on, and I want to throw in, you know, the issue of like the psychology of the crowd.
Yeah.
Well,
okay.
not even that. Let me throw another one. Let me throw another one too, because I've seen this being talked about a lot. Like, oh, Travis Scott saw what was going on and he didn't stop the show.
I don't know.
Trash.
I don't know.
And I see that and it's like, the thing that I liken it to is, of course, I wasn't on the stage. I don't know exactly what he saw, but I have been on many stages.
Thank you. I was saying the same thing. You performed, I performed. Arckatron's performed.
Yeah.
And I liken this to like driving at night. So we've been pedestrians walking at night when cars are around, and we've been drivers driving at night when pedestrians are around. We both experienced both sides of it. As a person who now has driven at night, you can't see those people like they think you can see them.
Yeah, man.
And as a person who's performed a lot, you can't see as much as people think you can see from the stage.
Yep.
You really can't.
I was talking about this. I'd assume, because okay, I have lights on me now for just this. And if I look in the direction of the lights, I get like a, because it's bright. So, and these are two little baby lights in a room. Now imagine stage lights. Now, on top of that, imagine festival stage lights. I'd imagine that he could probably see the first maybe one or two, maybe three rows, and then it just gets dark after that. But then remember, there's also a barrier area before even the first row. So now he can probably see like the first row of people vaguely. Because as he's moving around, this light is catching his eye. Oh man, then this light catches him. Then the music is blasting. Then he's checking maybe the band to see if they're doing whatever. Whoever's on stage with him, checking that. You know what I'm saying? Also watching his foot placement, making sure he ain't gonna fall or whatever. All kinds of stuff.
It's really different.
Not to excuse anything, but
it's
to say, I don't think he saw what y'all think he saw.
Yo, it's different. It looks different from the stage. It's definitely, like you said, all of that detail is removed.
Yeah.
And when you have a precedent of like your crowd raging and like you used to people like moshing, or you used to people jumping off stuff or getting hurt or doing.
Yep.
And no one's informing you of what's going on. So like I was looking at a play-by-play from one of them news stations had like a play-by-play.
Mm-hmm.
Which, like, as a side note, this is all super disgusting to me. Like, to watch this hit the news cycle a certain way and then just like everyone kind of dogpile on it and sort of like frame it a certain way.
Yeah.
Frame it like you don't care about these people.
Nah.
This is
a story because it's a story. You don't care about the safety of concerts and this. Because if you did, the president of Live Nation's photo would be up on this joint. Because like I said, when I was looking at this, I was like, you know what? This is a festival organizer and security issue. Why is Travis Scott even? I mean, I get it. He's the star, but
he's the name on the festival. But
yeah, I get it. But like
the coordinator, he's not the head of security. He's not any of the things that are in charge of making that go off.
Thank you. And shouts to Vivi in the chat. Janine said, I went to the Second Roots picnic in Philadelphia. Open field, same atmosphere. I knew I aged out fast. Rough crowd. Said, that was my last. DMX was one of the headliners. Once you get caught in the crowd, that's it.
It's a wrap.
Yeah.
It's a wrap.
And I'm at 50,000 people, man. Ooh.
So like, so I was looking at the play-by-play and they were saying like a half an hour, like his set, he goes on, a countdown happens before he comes out on stage. He goes on and then like the crowd surges forward. Everybody's like losing consciousness, like 15 or so minutes in. He's on for like 30 minutes. And then they go like, oh, like this is a state of emergency or whatever the terminology for it in that context is. I forget what the actual term was. Yeah. But basically a state of emergency. Like, yo, this show needs to stop. So then they're like, I'm looking at it and they're like, yeah, the show needs to stop. And I'm like, yeah, cool. Like, yeah, let's stop that. And then the guy's like, yeah, so an hour later, Travis is done performing. And I'm like, what? And then they're like, yeah, at this time, 10:10, Drake goes on stage. And I'm like, what? How has no one gotten backstage, gotten to the DJ, gotten to whoever to tell them like, yo, it's an emergency out there. We need to cut this short now. Like, we need to stop. It's dangerous now.
For Travis to stop the show, but this is something where a security guard should have radioed in to another security guard or had a security and been like, yo, man, look, there's 10, 12, 20 people out here. It's getting bad. We got to stop this. And then the head of security being like, yo, how many people? It'd be like 20. Oh my God, yeah, there's more. You can't even move down here. And he'd be like, all right, cool. And he radios
like
into
you
someone
got all these stage hands. Exactly. Like, get on the radio that guy. He runs over on the stage. Hey, look, we got such and such and so going on. You wish at 9:30 we should have seen his DJ like listening to the guy. Like, oh
yeah, like we should have seen someone walk onto the stage, talk to the DJ, and then the DJ get on the mic like, yo, Trav, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And Travis comes to the DJ, like, hold on, y'all. Comes to the DJ. The guy talks to both of them. He'd be like, yo, guys, look, we're sorry.
Where was that guy?
Yeah. Where was
that person?
And how none of those things
get to the stage.
Yeah.
How did Travis perform for an entire hour when 15, 20, 30 minutes into his performance, people are being trampled to death?
Yeah.
And passing out all over the place. Now, from his vantage point, I don't know why you guys are yelling to stop the show. I don't know if
he even heard
I might think he acknowledged it from
we did? Okay.
But the thing is, like, I don't know why you're saying it. Like, I don't know if I just got a bad crowd. You see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
I've done hundreds of shows. If I'm Travis Scott, I've done 1,000 shows. I don't know if I got a bad crowd, if like y'all just tired and y'all acting weird.
Yeah, like y'all hating.
Yeah, like I don't know what's going on exactly. And I'm as Travis probably trying to turn the energy around because I think it's a crowd is tired or it's late. Like I think a bunch of things. If I'm a performer, if I'm at a festival, that's going to be the last thing on my list. Is like,
that people are dying.
The crowd is in distress, and people are being like violently trampled.
Like, because you come out and you can only see like the first one, maybe 2 rows, and he did see the one guy that was passing out. So he was like, "Hey guys, this dude passing out," and he's thinking, "Okay, security is doing whatever they do." You know what I'm saying? They're doing their job.
We got it.
Yeah,
the guy is right there. We got
it. It's similar to, I can't remember the documentary. There was a documentary about COVID on Hulu or whatever, but there was a guy here that got an email from a scientist in China saying like, hey, COVID-19 is something that's happening. It's starting to spread. We don't know what's going on. Then he said he emailed someone and the word he got back was that the CDC was on it. So he said, oh, cool. Hey, CDC.
We good. We Gucci. We Gucci. The CDC is on it, Playboy. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it's interesting I don't know a lot about crowd psychology either, but like when you see people, like they had the ambulance that came, there's a video of the ambulance that was in the crowd to help people. And there's like kids on top of it, like wilding out on top of the actual ambulance.
Yeah.
And then there's a video and there's a guy on the ambulance and he's like got his shirt off and he's raging. And then the ambulance, the EMT guy is like trying to get him to get off of the ambulance. And the guy's like, nah,
So it's like how
he's like getting his
how,
friend to come and film him on the ambulance.
Yeah, so it's like
it becomes
from,
a frenzy state at a certain point.
So from Travis, he's like, oh snap, yo, we got a live show. It's gonna be crazy. And it's like, no, these people are
like,
crazy
what's up
because
with
of,
y'all?
like you said about the whole COVID thing. Like this idea of like people have been inside their homes for like a year and a half, a little bit more. And now it's like, yo, we're out. Like I was even making a joke talking about Karens. I'm like, you know what? They've been in the house so long. That whole let me speak to your managers is a whole nother level now. They've been in the house too long.
Different.
They haven't asked for the manager in like a year and a half. So it's now they want to speak to the president.
They've been charging up
to the CEO.
And like you see the electricity going around.
Get the CEO up here right now. Of Walmart? Man, we're in Walmart in Arkansas. Get him on the phone.
I want
the CEO
coming to here right this second. He's not in the country. Too bad.
That's funny.
But it's so
yeah. It's weird to see like this dog, like you're sort of watching a crucifixion happen live where, you know, it's just like even my mom said something to me about it. And I was like, what? Like I saw
that just goes to show how pervasive this is in society right now. It's like Travis Scott killed all these people. And it's like
Travis Scott, exactly. Travis Scott killed all these people. So you coming to me like, yo, that's career suicide, man. I'm like, what?
Because the first thing I said was, hey, who was the head of security? That was my first question. I was like, who was head of security? Who was?
It wasn't Travis Scott.
You look online and it's just like Travis Scott sucks and F Travis Scott.
Yo, man, Twitter was not
that's crazy.
Travis.
They just always looking for somebody to blame.
I wish nobody I kept it for the show.
And that's the problem. Like that whole looking for someone to blame. I get it. Yeah. If you're the person whose child died, I understand that. As much as I can as a person who does not have children, as much as I'm able to sympathize, because I can't empathize, but as much as I'm able to sympathize, I do. But like beyond those people, and even for those people, like, yo, like, don't just look at him. He gotta cough up them names. Who was the head of this? Who was the head of that? Who was the head of it? Whose job was it to do this? Like you said earlier, Live Nation got to get a piece of this rag.
Yeah.
Everybody got to get a piece of this.
So it's like the people, which is like a vague thing, but there's mob mentality exists, like group think and, you know, like group psychotherapy or whatever, or psychographics or whatever exists. So it's like the people,
Facts.
Live Nation, whoever was the head of security, and then Travis Scott. I don't know where the percentage lies, like, you know, like 15% that whole, like, or 30%
crucify
there.
The artist for the that's kind of weird.
Let's crucify the artist for a logistical issue.
Right.
Because the first question I asked, I was like, who's the head of security? So I guess that's what.
And then and then that too, because I felt that way too. And then it was also like, you look at the videos and you were like, what would they have done though? Like seeing those people rush the gates and like literally break down a fence.
Yeah, because there was somebody at the gate like getting ready to take tickets, and they was like, "Nah, bruh." It was like, we
running
push
over waves of people running over top of each other like zombie.
And that's how the day started. That's how it started. So, and look, and Travis Scott didn't do well. They do point to a tweet where Travis Scott was like, you know, everybody who snuck in or whatever, but still, it's tough because it's like, this is what that crowd wants too. You know, they want to be like, no, we crazy, we raging. You know what I'm saying?
If I'm him, I have no reason to think something's off. We've done this 100 times and it was cool. We got in a little bit of trouble. I got, fined for inciting a riot. It's cool. I got the bread.
When he told that dude to jump, I was like, oh.
Jump. He'll be okay. We got some medical people here.
I can't remember his exact words, but like paraphrasing, he was like, "You up there, but are you going to jump?" I was like, "Don't do that, don't," because in this moment, I will say this: in this moment, you as Travis Scott have way too much power over their thought process.
There's another seasoning. There's another element: the power dynamic of the artist and the crowd.
Because now the artist has said it, and now the crowd that already wants this is like, yeah, jump. And he's like, yeah.
And then
there's me that's like, no, don't do that.
Don't do that.
He said they'll catch you. Bruh, you don't know how heavy this person is going to be when they're coming at them from that high. Normally, like,
these
say
people
from the
can't
stage,
even move their arms. They're not going to catch him.
Like,
yo, like real quick, because I know we got to move on. But like, another thing that really bothered me about it, but it wasn't about the actual show itself. I'm starting to see jokes and memes pop up now about it. And I hate that. It's so disgusting. It's so distasteful.
And which is something that should be talked about. A child died. Now I know that. Okay, before we even get started,
9 people.
I have a 3-year-old myself. I'm not taking my 3-year-old to my 9-year-old. When he becomes 9, I'm not taking him to a Travis Scott of the day person. I'm not. No, those people are crazy out there.
The kid who was in a
get a hold of
coma?
his music? Like,
you talking about the kid who was in a coma?
The kid that was there.
He died?
No, I don't know if he was reported to be dead. I know he was hospitalized. But people were like, Travis Scott, look at what you did to this kid. And I was like, whoa, hold up. Whoa. I was like, now, I know we're all on, because I was reading this on Twitter, and I was like thinking to myself, I know we're all on the let's hate Travis Scott train, and I'm indifferent to him. I'm not a huge fan of his music, but I don't hate him, I don't love him. He's just a guy that's a musician. But I was like, if that person's 9, there's 2 people that we should be looking at, and neither of them are Travis Scott. or one, depending on your family dynamic.
That's a slippery slope.
Who took that kid there? That kid ain't got no car. Who took
his
that
dad
kid
was
there?
with him. His dad took him. His dad was with him. And his dad held him above his head when the crowd surged. And then as the crowd surged, he lost consciousness. And the kid fell into the crowd. So, but I'm like,
I just don't know.
If I was going to take my kid to Six Flags, and then like there was a malfunction on the roller coaster, no one would be like, yo, but why are you taking your kid to the amusement park in the first place?
Well,
you know what I mean? So like,
hold on.
You're going there like, cool, like the music may be a little explicit for his
crowd as well. His crowds for his shows
at
least 3 years have been known to jump around, push each other, hit each other, and rage. All right? I don't need nobody raging around a little kid.
But who's to say the dad understood the extent of that raging?
Okay.
You know, like he's just going like, oh, this the guy that my kid likes off Fortnite.
And he might not know. Okay, so let's say he doesn't
research.
know. Like, let's say he doesn't know that like there's mosh pits and stuff. I guess I could get it. Yeah,
and then also like a mosh pit is super different. Like we could get away from a mosh pit. Like this was not supposed to happen at all in any capacity. Like they weren't. The crowd wasn't supposed to do that.
if in general, without the crowd surge, technically he would have been fine. Then it's just more of a question of like, dude, the atmosphere. But I mean, I guess it's not a huge deal. So yes, I'll give you that. I wouldn't take a 9-year-old there, but all things being equal, without the crowd surge, everybody would have been cool. You know what I'm saying? There would have been like some jumping.
Cool. You'd have just heard some cuss words.
Some cuss words, a mosh pit, and but I mean, you don't have to be in there. So I guess to a certain degree, I can sort of see where that might be okay for some parents.
So what are you 20-year-old is doing? Like, what are y'all doing? Why are y'all doing this?
Or there's something like when you take your kid, you're like, whoa, this is not what I thought it was gonna be.
Then you heard about the security guard. First they said that somebody injected him with drugs when he was he was trying to stop the crowd. They said somebody stuck, and then the cops came out and were like, yeah, well, that actually didn't happen. Oh. It's just like a whole it's a whole thing, yo. Like, it's real deep how many layers guys, it is. There's a lot of layers to it, guys.
We'll follow up, you know what I'm saying, in a couple weeks, maybe something different happens. But I think between those four groups,
prayers up for the people who were lost. The count is at 9 currently, and the people who were injured.
And I can't imagine being like, to your brother or sister, like, oh, cool, see you after the show, you know what I'm saying? Or, just because it's a concert, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, people go to concerts all the time. So in your mind, you're like, all right, cool, I'll see you tomorrow. I'll see you later. Let's go to such and such tomorrow. And then you hear they're gone.
Yeah.
I can't imagine it. So, you know what I'm saying? It's like, definitely prayers for those, because I can't imagine the hurt and just the confusion behind, like, wait a minute, they went to a concert.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, true.
So
on that sad note,
y'all leaving?
Yeah.
Y'all leaving?
Yeah.
All right, say peace.
Peace.
Say I love all y'all.
I love y'all.
All right, peace out. All right, go. So to switch up, that's a great, Anwar laid it up, you know what I'm saying? Hit the alley-oop, you know what I'm saying?
Finger roll,
and Arckatron, yes. And PL Parker Lewis, yes. And Chris, yes. Yeah. So
shouting out the whole past and future crew.
So
shouting out the whole cast.
So Drink Champs, aka our Joe Rogan, had an interesting guest over the last week.
Interesting, yeah, okay.
By the name of a Mr. West. You know what I'm saying?
Kanye Omari West.
Man. Okay, so there's a lot of statements that were made, all right, on this Kanye West episode. I tried to keep up with a good amount of them, so we could just talk about at least some in general. Whew. Okay, I think I'll start out. With this. Man, there's so many. All right, how about this? Let's start about this. I'm not into the class system. And he's homeless. But he's not homeless. And he has 12,000 acres. And all right, so he's
nomadic.
He's nomadic. He is not homeless. I live in LA. You live in Philly, right?
He used the term homeless, but
yes. As someone who lives in LA, I'm sure Arckatron could attest. No, you ain't homeless. The dude talks. He said he went up into the Ritz-Carlton and was like, "Yo, give me a room," and they was like, "All right, that's not homeless. All right, homeless is you're taking a dump on the sidewalk. That's homeless. Homeless is you're living under a bridge.
Yeah,
You ain't
didn't even go
homeless,
to
yeah.
into a
You
store.
got
You didn't even go into a
12,000
store,
acres.
into the Walmart, and go to the bathroom.
This man said he was homeless and kept pounding that thing home about like, I'm not into the class system. Bruh, you just used the class system when you went to the Ritz-Carlton and said, give me a room. Like he was like, sometimes I gotta take my mask down. I'm like, bruh, that's how he started it. Now, I'm not going front. I'm not going front on you. Kanye West is a interesting figure. So we got a long way to go.
Yeah.
Those are just one of his statements. But I'll throw that out first. Anwar, where you at with him on classism? You know what I'm saying? Classism, homelessness. You know what I'm saying? Where you at?
I'm not anywhere with him on classism, bro. Like 2 minutes. This is a thing. I spoke to Sean about this. Spoke to Arcka about this a little bit. But like, Kanye tends to like make these. He'll like make a statement, and then like if you have the conversation long enough, he will directly contradict that same statement. And so like the example you just used, which was a short timeline. He said it
very short.
But then he says things like the one that I was like, I almost tapped out real early, like 2 minutes in, when he was like, what'd he say? He said, he started talking about how he doesn't want to be, like he strives to not be in their control, the ever-present day. And then like later on, when he's like going at Big Sean and John Legend, he was talking about how they were used by the Democrats. And he's like saying all these like political shock news talking points.
Yo, he was like, definitely in the Fox News playbook. Like he was,
and I'm like, fam, if you're in the Fox News playbook, within their control.
Yo.
Hello.
You're being manipulated to like you're saying the same things. Sometimes you put them in your words. Sometimes you don't even put them in your words. So like, how are we gonna over here talk about control, and over here we're talking about being a free think, like you're like everyone else is so enslaved and shackled to.
Yeah.
But then like you keep coming back around to these like goofy Fox News plays, like, yo, you're doing the whole quarterback sneak out of the. Come on, fam. Like, what are we talking about? Yeah, but it's interesting to see him not notice it. Like, no one notices it. Like, you have all these people who do the same thing and they never notice that they do it.
Matter of fact, shouts out to Noriega. Look, all right. Look, Drink Champs is a decent show. I think it's very informative on some of like just the life and times that these musicians and artists have had. But man, y'all was real giggly. Y'all was like some schoolgirls.
Can we talk about the giggly thing? Because this is like,
y'all was like some schoolgirls.
I never liked that. Like, this is why like it's hard for me to watch certain things. Like certain DJs have shows, and it's hard for me to watch. Certain clubs have shows, it's hard for me to watch. Because like they revel in, like, you say something wild about somebody and then they're like, oh, what? Oh, no, like, oh, this is crazy. What you mean? Oh, my God. Oh, what? No, he didn't.
And don't get me wrong, he did say some wild stuff, and we gonna get into it. But he just, man, they were like, it was like,
why do you guys revel in this so much? Like, you guys get so,
they were too giddy at the like
giddy, man.
I think his music up until a certain point is very cool, enjoyable, but you know, y'all was just, man, y'all was really, wow. So okay, I'm gonna say this.
They milk that cow.
They milk the best way they know how. All right. So shouts out to Algorithm C, Janine up in the chat.
I'll go see.
Yep, I'll go see. Shout out to Shot by Nolan, Phantom Girl. Yo, hey, I know
Shouts.
we know.
We know who Phantom Girl is.
Yep.
What up,
We know.
Elixir?
We
Shouts to
know. we
Lami
know.
and also shouts to Kang and King Hebrew. And since the last name of King Hebrew is Hebrew, that's another thing I want to bring up. Okay, so
And Mr.
yeah, Mr. Cooper. All right, so
Let's talk about it.
Okay.
We're gonna see about
so okay, so
Nerdy still
Kanye
set
West.
tripping. Where you from? I'm gonna see about
Kanye
it.
West is one of those black people that are like, hey, why can't we do what Jewish people do? Why, we just need to do it like Jewish people do. All right, now, look, I am not here to break down his perception. There is a very marketed difference between the Jewish community and the black community, at least in America. At least in America. There's a huge difference between us and the ability and the agency that we have before even talking about the fact that we're comparing ourselves to a group that has gotten reparations from at least 3 countries while we got reparations from 0. It's not even a one-to-one comparison. Just please.
Donuts.
Please stop doing
Donuts on the board.
But that's a talking point that we're talking about. Like he's just talking the playbook. Some playbook. He's trying to label the Kanye West manifesto, and it's just the same old story, same old Republican talk, same old Fox News talk, same old. Why can't we do what the Jews talk? Get out of here, son.
Yeah, it's oh man. It's just,
Get the
so it's tough to hear that because I'm so tired of it. I'm like, it's not even a one-to-one comparison. It's not even close.
but here's my question though.
It's like
What's
apples
better
and French
than
fries
1 billionaire,
like
Mike? What is better than 1 billionaire?
Oh, a 9 billionaire.
2.
Oh,
2 billion. 2 billionaires.
Yeah, because he definitely broke that. He put out that 9 billy a couple times. All right, so
he got to do that. Yo, one of his favorite sentences on there was, "Look at where he's at and look at where I'm at."
Okay, yeah,
which is like
jump to
a logic that I can't stand. Like, all right,
I don't mind if you're going to stick to the logic.
I don't know how many.
But then he goes to like everybody has their own path, but then be like, no, look at where he's at and where I'm at, as if you should have had the same path. Like you can't have.
I don't know how many non-black people are in the audience right now. But here's the thing. This idea, and this is an idea I see perpetuated by a lot of people who look like us, and it deeply saddens me. Real talk.
All right.
This conflation of money with values, money with humanity, money as like Arcka has, let's say Arcka has $100,000 in the bank and I have $100. The conflation is like, well, look at where you at and look at where I'm at. Like, I'm not going to take any advice from you. You couldn't possibly know anything. You're not valuable as a human being. You're not knowledgeable as a human being because you don't have the money to satisfy like my idea of success. It's such an absurd idea. And it's such an easy way to block out like any usable knowledge, any usable advice, any usable anything. There's just like this conflation of like, yo, well, like this is the entirety. And you just see it so much. It's really frustrating to see.
He did that to I think like 2 or 3 people.
Look at where I'm at.
And now I was It's
Like,
there's more.
Here's an example, yo. Like, what if I volunteer every week? What if I like organize food drives and I donate clothes and I do all the stuff, right? I'm like on the ground, but I'm poor. I live in the community, but I'm poor. And you live in the Gilded Tower, and you going, well, look at, I know what the people need. Like, look at where I'm at, and look at what you talking about. I'm down here with them.
Yeah,
I'm touching hands with these. I'm touching these people's hands. But you wouldn't even talk to me about what the community needs because you view me as less than you. You have a superiority complex because you have more money than everyone.
And the people that he's talking
That's
about,
weird.
Yeah, the people that he's talking about are not poor. So when
They're
he's like,
not
look at what
even
he's
poor.
So all right, this is what I likened it to. All right, say you're in a circle of friends, and everybody's making, I don't know, say $50,000 a year. Everyone's making $50,000 a year, and one of you are making $80,000, and the person that's making $80,000 is like, yo, y'all good? Y'all all right? It's like, no, we're fine.
Yes.
It's like we're okay.
We're good. Yes. Yo, don't worry, I got it, y'all. I got brunch today, y'all. You know what I'm saying?
Like,
I mean, I know how it is. I know how it's probably, things probably tight.
It's
brunch
like
on
it's
Sundays.
like no, we're fine. We're like, I'm okay.
Yo, everybody, yeah, you're right. Everybody he was dissing was mad rich. For the most part.
Yeah. It's
everybody
like,
he was dissing was millionaires.
Poor. It's like none of these
they
people
were all
are
millionaires.
Poor. It's like, look at where he's at. Well, look at where I'm at. He's worth like, I don't know, $862 million. Yeah. I mean, 100 millionaire. Like, it's like
100 millionaire.
It's like,
you only got 70 million?
You're not successful.
You're still in the millions. It's like,
Posh.
It's like, yo, these people are cool. They're chilling. Like, they ain't hurting. Like, it's just this weird view that he has that continues. That I had to bring this up.
It's not even centric to him either, man.
Kanye been out of here.
I saw a video today. Y'all know I don't follow sports, but I know a couple of the players and stuff. The dude Ocho Cinco. There was a video scrolling IG, wasting my time. And there's a video of him on some podcast, and he's like, yo, Google my net worth. And they did, and it was like 5 million, it said. And then he was like, now I'm gonna show y'all what's in my account. And it was like 15 million. But he was so adamant about everyone knowing that he was worth more than 5 million, as if being worth 5 million is a bad thing.
Well, yeah, and I guess it's
super weird.
Maybe he was. I mean, I don't see the reason to prove it.
Like,
but
what
yes.
they think I'm? He like, what they think I'm spending all of my money up? And what's this say right here? Like, he was really going hard in the paint with the point. Like, and I'm like, all right, you got.
Does this app not say Chase Bank?
You're still rich. So
yeah,
I thought you were rich when I thought you had $5 million. So
yeah, it's now
cool.
Yes, there is an argument to be had or conversation to be had about how Forbes and how a lot of white media outlets underreport the actual worth of Black athletes, celebrities, and other rich people, captains of industry, whatever. Yes, they do. But you don't have to like go all out. You can just be like, hey, Forbes routinely lies about how the net worth.
But I guess my thing is like, what is the practical value of Forbes reports about your worth? It's about your net worth.
Yeah, it's like
who
like
cares
a
about
popularity
Forbes?
contest.
Like other than the people looking at Forbes, but what does it generally do?
It's weird. It's like it's like a weird insecurity about something that you already have. It's like, I'm insecure about being rich. It's like, but you are rich. Yeah, it's like, but you are rich. Well, they saying I ain't as rich as I really am. It's like, but I mean, I guess that's a problem.
So what?
it's like, It's like, I guess that's a problem, but it's not like a real problem. It's like, I can just see me talking to Kanye like, but I don't see how that's an issue.
He wouldn't talk to you.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
And look where
I'm at. And look
where he's at.
Now, I wouldn't be able to get over this show without breaking down the statement that he made, where he went to talk about the South, and he kind of shaded the Dungeon Fam. And
was that in the second part?
That was in the first part.
First part, yeah.
I don't remember that.
What
did he say?
He's talking about how the South got on and how they got big and how they became something. And Noriega was like, oh, well, they had Outkast and Goody Mob. He was like, but, they really wasn't, they didn't have the streets like that. They didn't have, like T.I. was one. And I was like, I feel like you kind of shaded the Dungeon Fam a little bit when.
I don't know.
He kind of like, it wasn't like a full diss, but it was kind of like, oh yeah, they're all right. But T.I. is when the streets came. It was like, I mean,
Well, there's like such a fixation that people have about street dudes liking them. And like being hip enough to be accepted by the street dudes. It's like, okay, cool. Like some street dudes like you, some street dudes like me. Some of them don't want to be bothered with me because I'm not street.
Yeah, is
okay.
Like trust me,
I'm not losing sleep over it.
I've beefed with street dudes before. That did not do anything for my career. All right, plus or negative.
Oh, you gotta tell me about that.
Oh, well,
off the.
Well, no, I did have a very public beef with Cormega, but I have laid it to rest. You know what I'm saying?
Mega's about to drop The Realness Part 2.
He gonna shout you out.
The Realness is 20 years old. The Realness is one of my favorite. I love that album. The Realness is 20 years old. So 20th anniversary. And he has finished The Realness Part 2. Features the likes of Alchemist and Large Professor, of course. And just currently being mixed as far as I can tell from his socials.
Great. You know what?
We'll see if part 2. We'll see if he can break the curse of part 2s.
Well, no, there are part 2s that are good. You know what I'm saying?
Like what?
We just had ELE part 2.
Okay, all right.
Aha.
It's solid.
Here come Arckatron. Arckatron go feel it.
It's a lot of tracks on that thing, and
it's a lot of. It's a little
bloaty.
There's a lot of bloat on ELE too.
I
do think it's solid.
We'll push that to the side. Noriega, this is my statement to Noriega, bruh. Kanye does not have the 2 best moments in American history.
Oh, what did he say they were? When he
George
rushed Bush the stage, doesn't care about black people and Taylor Swift.
Noriega's Joe, and for Philly people, they know what I'm talking about when I say this. Noriega is the Joest rapper out there. He capes. He just is on everybody's.
I didn't expect that one.
Testicles.
Testicles. Like, yo,
testicles.
Man, when he said that, I was like, so these, like, I was like, look, man, I know.
Why did Meth never do that song? Why did he never do testicles?
I don't know.
Get off the testicles.
Testicles.
You want my testicles?
Oh, also, Kanye, I think, was jumping out the window when he was talking about the versus conversation. Like, yo, you gonna need like 5 people to versus me. I'm like,
he's always been like that, though.
I know, but just
that's basic. That's Kanye 101.
I know, but
that's Kanye. OG.
When you're listening to 4 hours of Kanye, all right?
Well, y'all did. I didn't watch that second part. I watched a little bit of it last night, and it wasn't really capturing me.
Yeah, because it started with the Larry Hoover Jr. stuff.
Yeah, and I just didn't have the wherewithal for another hour and a half of Kanye and Nori.
Yeah, I finished it. I finished it.
What were they talking about in the rest of that second part?
Oh, the rest of the second part, he went back in on Quali again. He tells us
flamed him again.
I might.
Oh, he flamed him again.
Well, he said he's sorry to the backpack community because
I saw
he
that
was
clip.
never a backpack.
I saw that clip, and I'm gonna keep it super trill. So to y'all and to the people watching, I'm gonna keep it super trill. That was very corny.
Yeah,
that was exceptionally corny.
Him saying that he wasn't a part of the backpack community, he was apologizing to the backpack community, and that he was trying to. He was using y'all to get to where he needed to be.
I really like the street dudes. I listened to Cash Money and Jay-Z. I was just using it. And I'm like, bro, so what? So what? I was posing. So what?
Yeah.
I listened to Cash Money. So what? So what?
Yeah.
What is supposed to occur now that you've given me that information?
I guess
what is that information supposed to mean to anyone?
And I never put him in the backpack, whatever that is, community anyway.
I mean, somebody did kind of make him. I remember people talking about him in publications as if he was kind of like the bridging of the gap between backpack and like flashy street kind of stuff.
He was.
Well, I'm just saying that's why they kind of like gave him a little bit of the, I don't know, the energy of backpackness, because they were like, he's a little bit into backpack.
But he says that as if like the people who identified as backpackers at one point in their lives, I don't know, like, should they feel ashamed of it or something?
Yeah,
like,
he duped us.
Like, what does it mean?
Oh man, he got us.
He posed, and it's like, all right, so. I mean like, if you were following his career, it didn't take him long to drop that shtick.
Yeah, that was like just the first album, right? That was like it. Maybe a bit of the second one, maybe a teeny piece. Maybe. Fam, like, who cares? Yeah,
who cares? And then like, it felt like he was pandering to Nori and to other like street dudes about like, oh yo, like I really like y'all. Like, I'm down with y'all.
Kanye is also Joe in that moment.
I'm like, okay, cool.
You know who's always Joe in Kanye's mind? Quali. Now let's talk about Quali.
Yeah, he flamed him.
Yo, he flamed. Okay, so they set up the question, the quick questions like this or this, this or this, this or that. And he said Common or Quali. He said Common so fat. He said definitely Common. His quote, definitely Common.
Then Nori is like, I disagree. Well, what are you asking me for then?
Yeah, then homie goes on this tear about how he never really liked his rap style, how like he's whack.
But here's my question though to that. Like, is that a bad thing? Like this, like, okay, he doesn't like Quali's style. Like, all right, again, like, so what?
The reason
I guess
so
because
hard,
he's worked with him, so
he's worked with him, so it makes it seem
like why would you work with somebody that you're not messing with?
That I didn't like their music.
What is that?
You know how many features I did for rappers who I didn't like their raps at all?
Hot take. Boo! Clack, 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 clack. I ain't gonna do y'all like that.
Give me the oh yeah.
So,
like, I don't have to like your raps.
I think it's because in the long term, as history has played out, and I mean, Arckatron, you know, I know this was right up his alley.
I don't have to like your raps.
Yeah, as history has played out, Kweli has shown himself to not be the better of the duo, or even like in the duos.
But
like,
he wasn't the better
atmosphere.
duo when they were a duo. So what are we talking about?
I'll
That's
say
what he's
this:
saying.
when the Black Star album came out, no, I didn't think Kweli was better than most. Now y'all seen Mr. Bay, but I at least thought he could keep up with him. Like, all right, say we're both jogging or something. So Mos is like, like 2 or 3 steps ahead, but he's keeping pace. He's keeping pace. He's, now he might be sweating bullets trying to keep that pace, but he's keeping pace. Now that history has gone on, the blacksmith movement,
not there no more.
So you're saying you're not ready for the Black Star next episode? You're saying?
You know what?
Next episode?
We talk a lot
Kanye
about.
said that album was really good, according to Kweli.
Nah.
Because Kweli responded when the first interview came out. Was it him that said it? I think he said.
But remember, he said
we know Kweli immature. Insecure. So.
Kanye also said in the second part that he didn't forgot that he was even with Kweli like recently. So how
he did say
this
that.
goes to the point I said to Anwar on the phone is he's like Memento. We cannot trust him to be the narrator of his own story.
He's an unreliable narrator.
He's unreliable.
Yes. You ain't never lied.
Unreliable.
But it was funny because most
Kanye
people
West,
are like, Kweli is, because for all the talk that we do about Method Man and Black Thought having the same flow, Kweli has had the same flow since inception. All right, he is so if we're gonna talk about Black Thought and Method Man having the same flow for like the last, say, 5 or so years, 5, 7 years, something like that.
Nah,
Kweli
changed his flow, man.
When?
From Black Star.
Yeah, you're right.
Everything after that has been the same flow.
Sorry. So yeah, you're right. There's Black Star, Reflection Eternal,
same style.
Kweli.
Yeah,
it's weird. It's a very similar style, and his style of rapping, it's gotten old for me, like a long time ago, and it's not impressive to me at all. And then as a person, I think he's whack too. So then it makes it even worse. But then that makes it even funnier. It makes it even funnier. It makes it even funnier when Kanye's like, he was like, "Yo, man, go read a book. What you gonna read a book on?"
So which one of y'all in the chat gonna be defending?
Who's gonna come in here and defend Kweli?
Kweli Army?
Man. I don't know. I'm asking.
Kweli, man.
And I wonder.
You don't want the Kweli hive on you, man.
Let's be honest, man. Kweli better thank his lucky stars.
Yes,
Kweli,
there is.
Let's be real.
Well, they ain't gonna be on NERDSoul.
I'll say this. Look, I guess I'm about to pick up another beat. Kweli better thank his lucky stars that early in his career he teamed up with Mos and he teamed up with High Tech. If we think back,
and Kanye gave him a hit.
If we go on back and think about High Tech at that time, I'm sure you, me, and Arckatron could probably pull out 2 to 3 rappers that could have made an album twice as good with the same beats that he did. In hindsight, when you look back, you like, Kweli, you lucked out. And even more so, after Get By, you should have just been like, I retire. Then people be like, oh snap, Kweli was dope. You kept going. Woo. Like we've said it on this show. Do we care about another Black Star? No. Then Arckatron was like, now a Black Star album with with Yasin and Black Thought though, and I was like,
Well,
I was like, you know what?
I'm interested in the new Black Star album because it's produced entirely by Madlib.
Yeah, that's true. That
And I
I'll
want to
give-
hear Madlib, and I want to hear Yasin.
Yeah.
I really
That-
want a Yasin Madlib album, but I can't get that.
Yeah.
So I'll take this. Now, the word on the street is that it's very good. The album's finished. I don't know when we're getting it. We heard a snippet of one of the songs. If you guys have watched Dave Chappelle's The Closer, we all have on this panel.
Yeah.
The song that plays in the beginning is off of the Black Star record.
Because I was like, oh, this some new. I was like, this some new hotness. What's this? I was like, what is this?
But they only play some of Moses' verse, some of Yasin's verse, rather.
Yeah, because there's no reason to play any of Kweli's verse. There's no reason.
I need a version like, you know, when people drop albums and they have instrumentals and acapella versions. I need just a Yasin Bey version of the Black Star album with Madlib. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that would be what's up. So
I know what you're saying.
So
edit him out.
So this is another one that I think that we all need to get out some books, encyclopedias, some Google or whatever and research. Because Kanye also said 50% of Black deaths are abortions. And I don't know if that's true. Like the second
here we go with the playbook again.
When he said that, I was like,
He back in his
I don't know if that's true.
With the playbook
I feel
again.
like like that's not true without even looking. Now I could be wrong. Now
that little bullet point that he said leads me to like the whole issue of like there's obviously a society that Kanye would like to usher in.
Yes.
And like some parts of it sound great. But I really don't want it at all because it's based on his ideals. So if you don't share his ideals, like I don't,
it sounds
then
like a cult.
How do I exist in this? Like how do we exist in this society? Like I'm not a Christian. I don't plan on becoming one in life.
But bruh, you part of the 12 lost tribes of Judah. All right?
Okay, cool. Let's discuss it on the other side of life.
But you don't understand. You part of the 12,
I don't understand exactly,
tribes, my brother.
I don't understand.
It sounds like a Kanye
fundamental.
cult.
So I'm gonna put this.
He's a leader.
I'm gonna put this logic question on the table.
Lauryn Hill.
And then I'm gonna like hop off of this completely, right?
We'll get to the Lauryn Hill part.
I'm the leader.
Like,
you're a leader. So
you're a leader.
Okay. So here's my logic question, right? God, all seeing, all knowing, created me, created you, knows our entire life, start to finish. Like there's nothing that we can think, say, and do that isn't concocted by God.
Yeah.
So, like, if I'm a good person, but I didn't believe in God, why wouldn't he know why I didn't believe in him? And be like, yo, like, I get it, but now you see, like, I'm gonna need you to worship me because now you can see it, like, I actually exist and shit. So it's like, why is it automatically like, yo, you should have, like, it doesn't make any sense to me.
Well,
the concept doesn't make any sense to me when you add, I'm all knowing, I'm everywhere. You the creator of this.
If you just ask Kanye West, he can answer that for you. Because Kanye West.
He can't.
Yes, he can.
He's just like, yo, fam.
Kanye ain't got the answers.
I liked his idea about like, yo, I'm gonna start basically an orphanage or what have you, however he termed it. But like, okay, if you're pro-life and like, here's a solution. If you feel like you can't take care of the child for whatever reason, like here's a place that you can surrender your child. Okay, cool. At least you have a solution instead of just being like, nah, you can't ever get an abortion. I'm pro-choice personally, and I don't really want someone deciding that for me and the person who I'm deciding with, me and the lady I'm deciding with, if that is ever a thing. I don't really want you in the decision.
I'm not thinking about what Kanye West thinks about.
I'm not thinking about what at all.
Ever.
Well, do you want to be Kanye or do you want to be Kweli? Which one you want to be?
Neither.
Because look at where you at and look at where he's at.
Look at where he's at.
I don't really want
be just Blaze.
Kanye.
I want to be just
really
Blaze.
want Kanye deciding the
And
religious makeup of my family or my society at large.
Mm-hmm.
Like there are a lot of we back to moving parts. A lot of moving parts, fam.
Yes. Like for instance,
that equal up to some semblance of free will. How much of it are you going to take away from me to get this utopia that you want?
Yeah. Because he goes into, well, then you also get the kind of like the sci-fi question that's asked in a lot of like sci-fi shows and sci-fi movies, pretty much asked through their themes. Like, can a utopia exist if, you know, if you plan to not break some eggs, basically? Like, can it even exist?
I was a Christian. I've been a Christian before in my life. I didn't make $1 billion with it.
You didn't?
I say that I did not. I say
look
that
at where
to
you
say,
at.
I look at where I'm at. Now I say that to say it probably wasn't your Christianity and your religious beliefs that got you the $1 billion. It probably was the Yeezys. So like at a certain point, what are we talking about?
All right. So, and I get you.
I was $52 million in debt. Yeah, because you kept spending your money on a bunch of stuff.
Well, then I'm gonna go further into that because in the society, he says, "Hey, we're on the brink of a modern day Wakanda." You know what I'm saying? So he like, look,
no, we're not.
Because
there wasn't racism.
There
wasn't blistering racism in Wakanda.
Yo, all I know is that Plan B is black population control.
There wasn't classism in Wakanda.
But Plan B is black population control, though. It's for the... Look, I'm just telling you. And also, Common is a Democrat, and he be doing that John Legend, you know what I'm saying?
Did he say that about Common? Did he put Common in that part?
He did.
He said it a little bit when he talked about Common and Kweli.
He said, "Why can't I be a Democrat? I don't understand."
He said he a John Legend.
He said light skin, right?
Yeah, he said he a John Legend AN. So that joke was bad.
But I'm saying like what if I'm an independent? What if I vote independent?
Yeah, why can't you? Because the idea.
What if I vote Democrat? Like, why does it matter what I vote? Like, you can't even tell me why you have chosen to be Republican beyond spitting back some like meme-worthy things like, oh, well, you know, in the 60s, black people used to be Republican. Okay, cool, but why are you a Republican? A lot of people, they just be going in on Trump without even thinking, okay, well, here's why they go in on Trump. But why do you like him? Well, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like we don't all think like a monolith. We're not a monolith. Like we all think, okay, cool. So like, it sounds to me like you're Republican because if everyone's going left, I'm gonna go right.
Yeah.
Which is not a reason to be a Democrat
it's not a
or
reason
Republican.
To be. Thank you. It's the. Oh, also, I love how he said the First Step Act was like just, I don't know. I can't remember how he termed it. He was like just like take over black people's minds or something. I can't remember how he termed it, but it was funny. Now he did get on your girl Kamala a couple times too. All right, he told.
Oh, he was on her. He was on her head top.
Yo, he was coming to push that wig cap back. He was like, now, was he particularly wrong about Kamala? No, but then to position yourself as like, oh, well, look, I caught you because I'm the better candidate. It's like,
But let me ask you this question, because, do you watch news? And you watch news, right, Mike?
Yeah.
All right, you're fairly knowledgeable about what's happening politically.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this, because I don't watch a lot of news. I just kind of pick it up where I can. And I felt like if I were to look at the news long enough, those points he was making about like where Kamala, who we haven't seen, I feel like if I watch the news for a day or two, maybe a day or two, I'll hear some variation of that sentence. Am I correct?
Yes, you will. And
so here's one for the free thinkers who aren't controlled at all.
Because that's a line that he's basically taken from the black grassroots media of like, hey, look, all these black celebs told us to go vote because Kamala was, you know what I'm saying? She was the girl and she was going, Democrats were going to take us to the promised land, blah, blah, blah. And Kamala got 94% of the black women vote and this, that, and the third. But where she been at? She ain't done nothing. She ain't did this, blah, blah, blah. So he's basically kind of cherry picking that sort of attitude or talking point and kind of dumping it into this to a certain degree. And it's like,
you good?
Oh, you
mute your mics, Arcka.
Yeah. I got him. All right, cool. So basically, because I was like, hold up, what? Yo, Arckatron was like, yo, let me take this call real quick, yo.
I was thinking about making some string beads. All right, he's off now. He's off now. He's back now.
Like Arckatron, you can just unmute yourself. You be good. You know what I'm saying?
You be cool how you be cool.
You be cool how you be being cool, and you be back to being cool. So,
so what you say?
The whole Kamala thing is basically kind of taken from black grassroots. So he's like cherry picking, like, all right, I got the Fox News playbook, but yo, I know black people in the streets been saying this, so I'm gonna jump over to the black side and say this. It's just kind of like whatever fits, whatever works for him, which is cool.
Whatever I can use to make myself right about this. But I'm like, how do you know?
Regardless of what you say about Kamala,
how do you know what she's been doing, fam? Like, none of us know what happens from day to day.
She's said a couple of things, but the couple of times she's been out, she's had some gaffes. So I think that's really why she's kind of been on the low, because she's had a couple gaffes where people like, should she have said this? Should she? So I think that's kind of why she's been on the low. Well, and also because she already had an interview with The Root, I think, where she said, like, I'm not going to do anything for black people. Like, so she said that like way deep back. So
in those words,
she said, do you expect me, how did she term it? Do you think I'm going to do something specific for black people? No. And she's
wow.
Wow. Yes. She was in an interview with The Root, I believe. And she said, do you think I'm going to do something specifically for black people? No. And
is there anything else?
Or how Professor Black Truth says, shouts out to Professor Black Truth. I'm going to use your piece just for, do you think I'm going to do anything for black people? No. She didn't, I mean, she kind of said it like that, but she didn't fully say it like that. But she definitely came out and said that. So, but on the flip side, Kanye, it's not like your platform was about like the advancement. Because he comes in, he's like, I don't want Black History Month. I want Black Future Month. And I'm like, okay, that's cool, but we don't have to lose one to get the other. Like, we can just have Black Future Month too. We can just be like, yo, March. Yeah, we can just be like, yo, March is Black Future Month. You know what I mean?
It's fake hot takes.
Full of fake hot takes. That's Kanye in a nutshell. Fake hot takes. Like, and contrarian. He's a true contrarian of our age. A true contrarian.
Is the truest contrarian.
One of the greatest contrarians of our age.
Like, they just want to show us getting beat and slavery, and that's all they want to talk about. Okay, but that's not the fault of Black history.
Yeah.
There is Black history.
Yeah, and
beyond slavery.
But I guess
So
to,
all right.
to bring this to a
Black Future
close,
Month.
Beanie Siegel made up Yeezy, so that's cool. Timberland is better than Pharrell, so that's cool.
It's another hot take of his.
Just Blaze be copying everything that Kanye West did, which I guess is kind of cool depending on if you're Just Blaze or not. And
Just Blaze made a statement about that.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, he did make a statement.
I'm not here for the mudslinging. It was one of them diplomatic statements. I'm not here for the mudslinging. I'm taking the high road.
Taking the high road.
I wish him well.
I wish him well in all of his future endeavors.
I wish you well is like when that old lady at church says God bless you, but like in a way where she really means like God D you. You know what I'm saying? Like God bless
it's like
you.
When people, it's like when people say, have a blessed day.
Yeah, it's like, I don't think you want me to be blessed.
Be blessed. Have a blessed day.
Have a blessed day.
Man.
Bless your heart.
He got the first amen in Drink Champs. So that's
lame.
That's history.
That was lame. That was whack.
Yeah,
trash.
It's the Kanye West episode was everything I expected it to be, and a little bit more.
Wanted it to be.
Like, and a little bit more. It's 4 hours of. Okay, I'll say this will be my last statement about Kanye West, and then we're going to close. Or, let y'all get y'all final words and then close. Kanye West is the eccentric billionaire.
Ooh,
the far right, the nine times over. You know what I'm saying? Make sure it's 9 Billy. Make sure I say the right numbers. All right.
That's B, not M.
Yes, B, not an M.
Hey, you about to get that T next.
B as in boy. About to get that T.
About to get that
trillion. You know what that is?
It's
a trillion.
It's a trillion.
So, like, he's the eccentric billionaire, the far right tiki torch holding dude, and the Hotep merged into one guy.
Tiki torch holding, man.
All into one person. And that's
Tiki torch, though, but where's that part come from? Give me that.
Well, the tiki torch is the red hat wearing.
Contextualize that part.
Well, that's the red hat wearing, I love Trump, black people need to do what Jewish people did, like all that stuff. That's where he gets that from. And then we don't need black history, we need black future. That's the Hotep side. And then the eccentric part is I go into Rich Carlton and sometimes I have to pull down my mask are you sure you ain't giving me a room? So you put all that together in this one man.
Y'all don't got no rooms.
Y'all ain't got no room.
No, right this way, Mr.
Yo, he's Tony Stark, man. He's Iron Man.
He's Iron Man with way more
the car crash was like the shards in his heart. Think about it. Boom.
Shard crash.
Then he had a revelation, you know what? I'm gonna be Walt Disney.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, and everybody's trying to stop him, even though he also name drops everybody and hangs out with everybody. So
what was the final count on the name drops?
Oh man, I didn't keep it. I stopped looking at the counter after it hit 20. Cause he's also that friend that he can't be yo man, we went on vacation. We had a lot of fun. I'd be like, yo man, we went vacation. I had so much fun. It was great, man. I really chilled. Then someone else would be like, well, it reminds me of the time when we were at Cabo. And you're like, here we go. Of course.
Clearly, you've never been.
Clearly,
Clearly. Look at where he's at. Look at where
I'm at. I step out of the resort and I look out of it's okay. He's that dude,
Arcka,
man.
when we going to Jamaica, fam?
Soon come.
Gonna be right near the beach.
Yeah,
go, right near trying to go.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, we could be
island said it with low key, with subtle
we can
disgust.
Be island boy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
from the Caribbean.
That's where we're gonna get you. That's where we're gonna get y'all.
Y'all don't stop.
Right
they from the Caspian.
Stop that. Stop it.
When they did, I was like, "What are y'all doing? Stop! Who allowed this to go on the internet.
I'm an island boy.
It was catchy, man. I had to be singing it like
boy.
every morning. You know what I mean?
Cap.
I'll sing that jam every
So
morning.
It's an island boy.
You know what I'm saying?
I was
From
like,
the
this is
Caribbean.
From the Caribbean. Next up, man. Them with the Kanye collab and the
I hate to
Pharrell
say this.
collab.
That's
on the
next.
business side, they should have had that joint ready for iTunes. Like they should have had that joint ready
Facts.
for iTunes.
That's
Like
facts.
on the business
Facts.
side, they should have been like, look, we look foolish.
Super fast.
We sound foolish,
Yeah.
but this is just it's going to be catchy. And if we can make a couple thousand off of this joint, let's do it. Put it on iTunes.
Boy.
Island boy, Caribbean, chilling in the pool. All right, just man, can I look? Anyway, look,
You guys aren't either of those things.
just look.
Not from
We
the
out of
island
here,
or
man.
Caribbean. What's up?
From the I don't know what island they supposed to be from.
They was hitting that. They was hitting
Y'all
that
from
weed, boy.
Florida.
They was hitting some new kind of weed. That synthetic weed or something.
That's that kill.
Yeah.
In the bottom squares. Shouts out. He made the space bridge. All right. He made the space bridge. He's dope. Arckatron, tell them where they can find you.
You can find me at ARCKATRON.com is the website. I got my music up there, my whole discography for like the last 14 years. So check it out. Wait, 14 years? It's a lot of music up there. It's like 500 beats. Go check it out. I've collabed with these two gentlemen on 2 of those projects. So check it out. And I got a project with the man right here, Anwar Highsign, and I got a song or 2 for NERDSoul. So y'all soon go check that stuff out because we about to drop this stuff real soon. It's about to be a hot summer. Yeah, ain't summer, but it's hot summer right now because like 80 degrees out here.
Yeah, it is kind of toasty out here.
I'm burning right now. I'm like,
burn it.
That fan ain't enough right now.
All right, right over here, the one and the only. He got Fleece out in stores right now. Anwar Highsign, tell them where they can find you.
Anwar Highsign, ANWARHIGHSIGN. Same thing on Twitter as it is on IG. One of them has an underscore in it, but it doesn't matter. When you put it in the search bar, it's going to come up. But put it into Google too, it's going to also come up. And put it in Spotify and the Apple Music so you can hear the music. The music is on there. And yeah, man, check it out, spin it, purchase it. If you don't, you know what I'm saying, catch these hands when I see you. But it's not gonna come to that because you know what I'm saying, we love each other and I know y'all gonna support it. And I'm mixing something new right now. I'm getting a new pack out there soon, another 3-4 pack. Before we get some full-length projects on the out there on the
and what high sign.
Yeah.
So yeah, look for those, man. So I'm mixing them joints, man. I'm about to start mixing them joints, rather. Or no, I'm already mixing them. I got a couple things I'm mixing, so be on the lookout, man. I can't wait to get this thing with this guy out with Arckatron, the ARC. Y'all gonna like
part
that.
3.
Yeah, y'all gonna like
that. So
guys,
shout out to the chat. Janine, Algo C, Moonflower, King Hebrew. Who else came through? Phantom Girl, Lami, Kang, everybody. All y'all that came
everybody
through.
out there. Happy Friday, y'all.
Everybody out there, man.
Happy Friday.
Hey, yo, I'm on the East Coast. Everybody in the chat, send me weed. I'm on the East Coast. It's dry.
I love y'all.
P.O. Box.
P.O. Box. I love y'all like Kanye loves Drake. So NERD, SOUL, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all the places. Hit the thumbs up if you like what you're seeing. Hit the thumbs down if you don't. We got podcasts, music, all that.
Catch
We're
these
gonna
ends
leave y'all with
if
some PL Parker Lewis and Arckatron. From us to you. Peace.
Peace, y'all. Scream on them.
Yo, where'd you get that from?
This for a minute.
Yo, he be tripping.
Scream on him. Scream on him.
I'm the man, yes sir, that killed the bear barehanded so the people won't forget it. Getting money for I was legal to drink. I care what a broke nigga think.
Just like the pack of Lewiz.
Look, everything I do so cold. I can do this, both eyes closed. Too short, I stay on my toes. About that guap boy, anything goes. Help the bear if we outside. Help the bear if we outside. Still tipping, baby, nothing changed. I'm still grinding over here, yeah. Still sliding through my own lane. Shorty, nothing funny over here. Dallas rain everywhere around me. Dream to get money. Made it through the storm, living sunny. Dreams came true, now we eating. I got more dreams to chase, gotta reach them. Trying to put a team together like the Hunger Games. Everybody grinding cause we all came from Hunger.